Thank you for joining me on Million Mile Astrocartography, where I break down how locations shape your experiences, decode the energy of your name and birthday, and tap into intuitive messages to help you move with clarity and intention. And today I had a channeled message when I woke up that was, "You better let these people know that you are not a slave." And I heard it just like that, real sassy. So I've pulled the Wild Muse Oracle deck because this is a really sassy deck to me. And I'm really curious to see what message comes out. I will say it made me think of this time where I had this job and I was working 24 hour shifts. And after I had got hired, I spoke to one of the managers and mentioned something about sleeping or taking a nap or something. And the manager kind of laughed at me and was like, "Oh, you're not going to be sleeping." And I've had this type of job for a couple of years before I started working at that particular location. And the first thing I thought was, this was like a red flag that I had ignored because yeah, that job, it requires critical thinking. It's a fast-paced environment. You have to make life or death decisions. And if anyone has worked for 24 hours, you know what it feels like to try and work at that capacity with fatigue, extreme fatigue. And so when she said that, I just realized like she is not a person with compassion. And that's exactly what unfolded when I was working at that job. It ended up being several people who lacked compassion, were greedy. They put money over any and everything, even human life. And God sent me there to teach them people a lesson. So sometimes God sends you places to let people know they lost their mind. So let's see where this read goes. We're going to do a past, present, and future read and just tap into the energy of who you were in the past, in the present, and where you're going in the future. So let's see what we get. Who is the viewer in the past? I'm curious to see who's watching this. Past energy of the viewer. Upside down. Present energy of the viewer. Present energy of the viewer. Updating your system. And future energy of the viewer. I had to get something to cover up some of the images. They are a little on the spicy side. But what is the energy, the future energy of the viewer? Okay, we got two cards coming out for the future energy, the 10-90 ratio and big changes. Okay, let's read from the book for Upside Down. I've already got some ideas of where I'm going with that message, but I want to read the book. This card signifies that a personal transformation is taking place within you. Mind you, this is the past energy. Often such a transformation is caused by some sort of loss, health scare, or painful experience that pressures you to see things from a different perspective. Literally, your world and everything you know is being turned upside down. You are now learning to see opportunities where there once were only challenges and constraints. You are learning the more that you see, the more that you realize that you, in fact, have not seen anything at all. For healing, having your world turned upside down is a very humbling experience to go through, especially when you feel like your back is against the wall and you're left with no other option than to change your perspective. Sometimes it takes a significant amount of discomfort to look at things from an alternative viewpoint and make the necessary changes to improve your life. The good news is that you have all the time in the world. Being upside down is only as uncomfortable as you make it. Therefore, see this experience as a blessing, helping you to transcend from outdated perspectives to an outlook more suited to your current life path. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That is exactly what I was thinking. You may find yourself in a scenario in the past where you were in a situation you once tolerated and it became intolerable, and you were able to clearly see that, where it might not have been something that you felt was wrong with the situation in the past. You suddenly just could not even fathom staying in that type of situation. And that was the very beginning of moving to a new level, a better space, a place where you're not accepting breadcrumbs or scraps. Your present energy is updates to your system. You are moving on from your present belief system, leaving your old self behind. It's a process comparable to a software update. There is a newer and better version of you available right now, so make sure that you give your system time and space to be updated. Just as your computer or phone needs some time to perform improvements, the more profound the update, the more time and disk drive space is required. So do you. Feeling fatigued, otherworldly, or cranky can be part of the process. However, the best thing that you can do right now is to listen to your heart while your brain is doing the reprogramming. Don't try to interfere, steer, or use any pressure during this transformational phase. Give yourself the space to naturally evolve, especially if you notice you're feeling more drawn towards new experiences. These are the new parts of you that are being downloaded during the system update. Putting off updates is technical devices frequently happens due to the same reasons we put off personal updates. Feeling like there isn't enough time, the inability to get rid of old files or feelings in order to make space for the new, or dreading having to learn a new system once the updates have been completed. But when we finally commit to the updates, we can find ourselves wondering why we put it off in the first place. As we come to appreciate and love the improved version of things, remind yourself of a time during which you kept putting off changes or updates and how silly you felt after you came to realize that these changes weren't as daunting as you made them out to be. Sooner advances could have made life so much easier. Procrastinating, moving into the new version or the next version of your existence is a waste of time. You know you do not want to fall behind on your personal life path, so click that update button already. This is a very clear message to me, and I can remember a time when I was transitioning my career from one phase of the career to another, and I was terrified to do it. If you know anything about the medical career, sometimes the roles that you take on, you're trained to only do that role depending on what type of role you have. So, like, I'm a doctor, and you're trained to be that particular type of doctor. If you want to go be a different type of doctor, it's a very long process unless you're doing it at the same time. Some people get double board certified. all at once. But if you get into a career path that you decide later you don't really like, it's a lot of work to go and train to do something else, and very expensive process. So there's a lot of limiting factors that can prevent you from making a change. But this reminds me when I wanted to move, like the career that I had was all consuming and it wasn't working for me. As my life was changing, the career was like becoming a huge burden. Um, and I started a family and it was just not sustainable to continue working like that. And once I kind of found there was another path that I could go, it was still very hard to just make the leap. Um, I had to like get so much information and data about this next path that I was going to pursue before I actually like came around to the idea of doing it. And then once I did it, I actually made way more money working way less. And I felt like, oh my God, why was I so terrified to do this? And why did it take so long for me to like realize that this was the way I needed to go? But I think it was, just all in the right time, the right place. Um, Nothing was, an accident. But that may be something that you are experiencing right now. And I can tell you, having gone through that situation where I was faced with the choice, continue what I was doing, which wasn't working, or do something else. And even though I knew what I was doing wasn't working, it was really hard to just stop and do something else because of the unknowns. Just not knowing if it was going to support me, if not knowing if I was going to be able to maintain my licensing, doing less. But it ended up being better than what I could have expected at that time. And then where you're going in the future. We've got the 10-90 ratio, the energy for the future. It's big changes in 10-90 ratio. But let's read the 10-90 ratio just so we can kind of dig a little deeper. Life is really 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. Just think about it. The last time you got extremely upset, how did those emotions help you handle or deal with the situation? Probably not at all. In fact, allowing yourself to become upset about a situation or engaging in feeling angry or stressed about it only harms you. It doesn't change anything about what has transpired, nor do negative emotions help you move forward. Allowing external circumstances to dictate how you feel about yourself and your life is a recipe for disaster. So, the next time something in your life goes left, try to remind yourself that it can affect as little as 10%, depending on how you handle the situation. Some would even say that circumstantial changes don't have to affect you at all, as long as you don't let them. Take back your personal power and choose how you react to life wisely. And heal yourself by reacting from a place of empathy and love. The next time you feel like responding to something with a burst of difficult emotions, take a few deep breaths before you even go on to speak. If what you are dealing with will not impact your life in the following days, months, or years, why bother getting upset about it? Ask yourself if becoming upset will actually change anything about the situation. By analyzing challenges this way, you learn to become mindful of your words and actions. Once you are aware of certain habits in your behavioral pattern, you can work on the things that aren't serving you. So, in time, instead of allowing someone or a situation to continue to dictate your mood, you are reminding yourself of the fact that you do not have to let that happen. You can choose to see the glass half full instead of half empty. It's entirely up to you whether you self destruct or think of solutions to difficult situations. And Big Changes reads, some big changes are coming your way, and we want you to be ready to embrace them. Your life is in a period of profound change. Trust in the unexplored and embrace the unknown. Life-changing experiences and moments of enlightenment are lovely signs that indicate that you are moving in the right direction. Cherish these times instead of fearing them. Your spirit guides want you to fully embrace what is to come next, even if it begins with an unexpected surprise. You've got this. This is indeed a time where dreams become reality and possibilities are expanding. Think of it as a surreal and dreamlike. Think of it as so surreal and dreamlike that it almost feels too good to believe. There's a saying that goes along the lines of, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. Significant changes are good because big changes are opportunities. It's almost as though the soil is being turned over and you can restart on a fresh, nutrient rich earth. Embrace the changes and know that they are here for your highest good. Your guides are with you every step of the way as they support you in changing times. Trust that you are equipped for whatever life decides to throw at you. And who knows, your big changes might astonish you in the best way possible, like being able to live in your dream home, receiving the opportunity to move to another country, or finally achieving the financial and professional stability that you've been craving. The list is endless, so get excited in a good way. A new chapter in life awaits you. Thank you for joining me. This was the message for today. May your line elevate your shine, and I'll see you in the next message.